toleration is the number one excellence killer.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're tolerating something, if like that coach is coaching like a way that we don't want, or coming in a certain way or things like that, and I just tolerate it, or even for one coach, not the other coach, if I'm treating them differently or something, that's just gonna keep going and get worse and worse, and then that excellence, that quality piece drops.
Welcome to the Captains and Coaches Podcast. We explore the art and science of leadership through the lens of athletics and beyond. I'm your host, Tex McQuilkin, and today we're in Parker, Colorado at the intersection of performance training and character development. I sit down with Patrick Nolan, founder of Pivotal Performance, who's building something revolutionary in his community. Pat's journey from multi-sport athlete to performance coach reveals powerful insights about developing courage in young leaders, the hidden dangers of sports specialization, and why the best training happens when athletes from all different sports train together. We'll uncover his 5 E's of leadership, discover why he believes toleration is the number one excellence killer, and learn how trash talk can actually build unshakable confidence. Whether you're coaching high schoolers or professional athletes, Pat's approach to creating transformative training environments will challenge how you think about developing human potential. Now, let's throw it out to Pat to help us raise the game. Ready, and break.
Coach, how we doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Tex.
Yeah, man, a blind reach out. So I'm fortunate for that. That's how this world works, and this community is just so open. And networking, I understand, is a big part of what you do well. So lacrosse, that's how I found you. But you didn't start as a lacrosse guy. You fell into this.
Yep.
So your background, football, baseball, hockey.
Yeah.
From the north. And I mean, that is Colorado to me, those big sports right there. So, and now lacrosse.
Yeah. No, going back, take me back to freshman year in high school. I'm playing lacrosse.
Yeah. Does your school have it?
They did. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
But playing baseball, from T-ball or whatever on, it was just like, that was my jam back then. But yeah.
Yeah, the
sport is different.
The sport is different. Youth lacrosse is probably my favorite, just with the little kids with his giant helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Darth Helmet from Spaceballs running around out there with a stick. It's
Same with Pop Warner football. It's just hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I call it bobblehead football.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So your introduction to performance came from your athletic career when you found a coach. I heard an interesting story on the Outside the Crease podcast, NSCA SIG for lacrosse, shout out, where you asked for speed lessons instead of video games or any other normal boy stuff.
Yeah, that was, you could find me outside and outside only. I hated being trapped inside. And I had a passion for sports I was a geek when it came to that, and I loved movement. I mean, I wasn't the fastest kid, but I was on the faster side, I'd say. But I wanted to be the fastest, just my competitive nature. And when my mom asked me, like, what video games you want or something, thinking that was like a normal gift to get your kid, I was like, speed training lessons. And I was very lucky enough to have some of the best speed coaches in my area at the time. Tommy Christian from TC Boost. And then he passed me on because he was actually having a kid at that time, to Michael Drock, who's, all over Instagram and social media these days. And before there was a facility, everything, we were just going out to parks, and whatever equipment they brought out there, I was all in, and, I'm still keep in touch with both of them to this day.
That's great. And I imagine that really fuels their fire when they see the lessons that they handed down to you. You continue to then just reverberate everything that you picked up way back when.
Yeah, it's really cool because, so I trained with them as middle school, high school athlete, went on to college, came back, interned with them, and then got a job at their facility as well. And it's the same thing as you just saw Jaron. Trained him in high school, trained him in college, came back, interned with me throughout college, and now he's director of coaching here. So it's kind of like a full circle thing to see that.
Yeah, I love that. And Pivotal, I mean, you're not from Denver area. What brought Pivotal here? What brought you to Denver? And then create this opportunity with Pivotal?
So yeah, from Chicago, but always wanted to move somewhere else. In Colorado, just, again, being an outdoors guy, like, I mean, I can't figure out a better state than Colorado. So yeah, moved out here, did not have a job lined up, but had a couple resources and connections. And actually Joel, who you have in a future lineup.
Yeah. He
Uh,
should have been this morning. He's making it real hard on me
Yeah.
driving. Yeah, because my friend's in Parker. So now I got to drive north, then come back down to where I'm staying. So he's making it hard on me.
That's Joel for you. Shout out to Joel. But yeah, Joel brought me on board with him, and then we developed a great relationship. But then there was a time where I just felt like I needed to go on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Happened to be during COVID. Um,
Like during COVID, or you set the plans and then COVID happened?
I set the plans and COVID happened. So, out of a gym, having a bunch of clientele and everything, I had to brainstorm and problem solve and opened up a garage gym, which honestly, like I could go back to that summer because it was one of the funnest times. Like
Yeah.
going to parks, just random different parks, having a garage and, a strip of turf on my driveway, a Vertimax laid out, and, our neighbors just watching me just run a bunch of different people through our neighborhood on sprints and different things like that. But then got to a point where I'm like, I need to get a facility, and that was always the end plan. And after, COVID calmed down a little bit, I was able to actually search buildings and everything because that was actually the biggest problem is like we couldn't even go out and check out buildings and things like that. But found one, and it was again kind of still during COVID. Kids were doing school at home and things like that, and parents wanted their kids outside the house. And lucky enough, I always joke about it. Like Parker's a very conservative town, and they didn't really care too much, and they wanted their kids out of the house, so it was a huge referral source. So it was great to move to a new location in Parker and build a whole network of new kids and everything. And I work with one of the local high schools out here that I've been contracted with for I think going on year 10 now.
Yeah. Do you go into the school or do they come here?
Yeah, both.
Both.
So I mean, we get handful of different high schools as well here, but probably majority is Ponderosa. But yeah, one of my coaches was there this morning working with the dance team. I was there this morning running a leadership class. And then all summer we'll be running programs there as well.
That's awesome. Well, let's spend some time. I know I want to get to lacrosse, but I want to spend some time with that leadership class.
Yeah.
So now, how did that spark? Was the coaches, they said they needed it, or you saw that they needed this and you created the opportunity?
I have a passion for leadership as well. That's a huge, I mean, I think it just goes hand in hand with sports. So if you ever look at my library of books, it's, exercise, science books and leadership books. And you're not going to find a fictional book, in my library. But that's all right with me. But yeah, leadership is huge. Jeremy Boone, athlete by design.
Okay.
Who runs a leadership course himself with coaches. He's one of my biggest mentors. And I did this whole course with him, mentorship, and then he challenged me. He's like, you're learning all this leadership, go apply it to other things. So I reached out to the AD. I was like, because I knew he was running this leadership course, but he wasn't running it to the fullest of his ability.
And you already had the strength sessions with them? Okay.
So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, can I take over this? And he was absolutely. Like, it was a pretty quick yes. And kind of shifted in how the whole program ran and everything. New AD now, and I actually have the AD in working. So we go both kind of joint education with that. Just so he's, more involved with the students because he's so admin. So I thought that was a good opportunity. And it just provides another voice. But yeah, I had them this morning. Today was our last meeting, but we meet with just juniors. Throughout the years, I figured out that, we had, coaches would just assign 2 athletes. It was the cool kid or it was, the senior leader that, football or whatever, and then football's on. And we meet once a month with this, and they're gone. So I wanted well, they're going to learn this stuff and they don't apply it. So I wanted juniors only. Now it's it doesn't matter how many, like, it's not limited to a certain amount of sports or whatever. It's applications, so they have to seek it out. They have to go get recommendations from a teacher and a coach. So it puts a little more accountability on the kids. But yeah, we talk about a whole, you know, list of leadership qualities and building skills and strategies and just building that courage in them is the
Hmm.
biggest thing to, like, approaching your teammate in a, in a tough situation. Like, they're not going to hate you. It's not the end of the world. And like having them overcome that and learn, like, all right, they're going to forget about it tomorrow anyways. And that's like a huge part, I think, that's missing in high school leadership.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. So conflict and arguing, like those are just, they're put negative tones on in light. It's like, no, 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 no. Conflict is good. Conflict is
Yeah.
healthy. And how you approach conflict is whether it's good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's work on confronting your teammates if their behaviors are not aligned with the team's goals.
For sure. Absolutely. And we have a whole long list from Jeremy Boone. We have these 5 E's that we like. They find these, like, oh, it goes back to these E's, and the E's are energy, example, experience, environment, and why am I blanking on the fifth one right now? Brain fart. What did I say?
Energy, example,
Expectations.
environment,
Yes.
expectations. Well, I missed one now.
Energy, environment, experience.
Experience.
Yes. And so you're able to, like, find these E's and how they're able to mingle together, and how is X gonna experience me, or what kind of environment am I trying to create for my team to, like, pull them with me. So it's a pretty, like, I think it's a great kind of piece.
Uh-huh.
It's simple enough, but it can get very in depth with it. And like, so depending on where the level of leadership that athlete is, like, they can,
Yeah.
build off that. So, if they're just a lead by example, which is you ask every high school kid, what's your best leadership quality? I lead by example. Well, that's not always good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be bigger, be bolder, and branch out.
Yeah. Find your voice.
Yes.
Like it's okay to be introverted. At the same time, we still want you to step up when the moment requires. Because
For sure.
coaches can't always be there.
Yeah. And so I love it. And, bring the seniors back and talk to the juniors. I've had Jeremy Boone on. I've had some other, like, coaches come on Zoom calls. They give another voice. I've had even some of my pro athletes come in and talk to them. And that's always a huge one too.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I'm like, this is the same language I'm having with you guys that I have with these guys too.
Yeah.
And it's a different setting.
Have had. It's the same power within these realms, this framework that they're experiencing at these high levels.
For sure.
Man, that's very cool. And are you prepared to share examples of your experience with these 5 E's from your athletic career, your coaching career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest, like, where I'm at now is, for past 4 years, I've been pretty much a one-man show. Running who knows how many sessions in a day.
Yeah.
But now I'm building a team, so I have 5 coaches now under me, and so that's a whole new dynamic that I'm learning. And having to delegate, having to give away some, like, power,
Mm-hmm.
because we all want, like, our standards of our training and everything. And I might have a new coach, and, like, he's not coaching it the way I want. I can't get on him. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So, like, the reflecting piece of, like,
Yeah.
have I dedicated enough time to help him in his coaching development or her coaching development, instead of just, hey, this is how we do it and things like that. Or even just, like, seeing, training session or whatever, and I was like, that's just not how we do it or whatever, but not addressing it in that moment because you don't want to
Oh.
do it in front of the kids and everything.
No way.
So just those are, like, and I'm very, like, type A when it comes to that stuff, and, like, I want it, like, high level, high quality. Like, that's our priority here. Like, we could bring in a bunch of kids and everything, but quality's gonna go down. So I keep quality here, and quantity can, fluctuate.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm focused on. I'm not, just trying to become a rich billionaire.
Well, you're in the wrong business.
So yeah, so that's probably been the biggest point right now for me in my leadership development.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to, I mean,
And those are healthy examples of conflict that
yeah,
I know what I need to do. And now I need, even as a professional and business owner and, you know, experience with years beyond these kids, you still need to get ready for those conversations.
yeah. And a quote that I learned from, again, quoting Jeremy Boone, but toleration is the number one excellence killer.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're tolerating something, if like that coach is coaching like a way that we don't want, or coming in a certain way or things like that, and I just tolerate it, or even for one coach and not the other coach, if I'm treating them differently or something, that's just gonna keep going and get worse and worse, and then that excellence, that quality piece drops.
Mm-hmm.
So having those standards and those expectations, having them listed out, and again, going back to me being a one-man show, I didn't have to have like programs listed out, things like that. I could just, some of the
Right.
stuff was in my head, or like, hey, I knew what I did with this group last week, but now with other coaches and we're switching off sessions and athletes are bouncing around different sessions, like they need to know. So having that prepared plan and overarching kind of
Mm-hmm.
structure has been a huge change too, and communicating that piece as well,
Yeah.
and
And
not just assuming they know.
yeah, that's a tough one. I still coach lacrosse sport and do the strength stuff, so I get both sides of
Mhm.
performance and then the play calling. That's what I appreciate. And then working with the high schoolers, more often than not, the lesson that I'm aiming to teach that day or observe they need to work on, there's almost a reflection that I have that same growth piece in life that I need to get. Most recently this season, there was a few players in leadership roles that they were afraid to fail, so why try? So, the ebbs and flows of a season, there's highs and lows. So if certain things didn't go our way, well, I'm just going to sit back because it hurts to fail. So then I observe that in them, and it forces me to then externally look at, okay, where am I in my life? Am I afraid to try because I don't want to fail? Okay. I'm teaching this lesson. I need to model it as well.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, I like
And
these 5 E's for that.
yeah, you look behind you, those are my two favorite words right there. So it's a daily reminder for me, and it's a, visual cue, because athletes will be like, well, what's courage? Like, what do you have compete or whatever? And I mean, I even get jokes sometimes, like one of my NFL combine guys this year, like they wanted to play spike ball, and it was during a deload, and like we're trying to calm down before their big days and everything, and they want to play spike ball. And I'm like, no. And they're like, what does that word say up there? So it bites me in the butt sometimes.
Did you let him play?
No, but they ran fast. So
Well, sometimes courage is
yep,
holding back and following the plan.
exactly. So, but those are two daily reminders. Those are my two favorite words: courage and compete, because you have to have the courage to compete in whatever thing you do.
Yeah.
Whether it's grades, or whether it's I always joke like you can't, like, confidence, I gotta wait for that confidence piece. But courage, you just gotta step up and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Timeout. Coach, are you banging your head against the wall trying to motivate athletes who seem mentally soft? You're yelling, they're shutting down. You're punishing, they're checking out. Sound familiar? Here's the thing, the game has changed, but most of the coaching education hasn't caught up yet. They're locked in on teaching programming and not people-ing. In my new course, Why They're Not Listening, Coaching Today's Athlete, you'll learn how to connect with your team and transform disconnected players into captains who perform under pressure. Stop fighting your athletes and start developing them. Go to listen.captainsandcoaches.com to enroll. That's listen.captainsandcoaches.com. Transform your coaching today. Now, back to the show. Ready, and break.
Within in line with the 5 E's, I worked with Ryan Davis, University of Maryland football, and what he brings to his squad is 3 H's. So he has the guys, this is practicing in public speaking. So you give a hero, who's a hero in your life. You express a highlight. So what's a highlight from the season, from training, from high school football, whatever it may be, and then a hardship. So you're sharing to your, whole squad. We're talking 105 dudes. That's big public speaking, something that is challenging that you've been through. So what Coach Davis then challenges his team and staff to do is you got to be ready to present as well.
Yeah,
And then the guys are going to see right through if you're inauthentic in those moments.
for sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
The public speaking piece, that's a big part of leadership, as you know. So leading sessions, that's public speaking.
Mhm.
So how are you framing with the leaders that you're working with within this group that even what they're doing, just communicating within the group is going to help them in huddles and moments in the game when they got to find their voice and be listened to.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to that courage piece as well. And just like, what is it that you want? And again, what are you tolerating that you can't tolerate anymore? And just, yeah, stepping up in that moment. Is it truly what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everyone talks about finding that why, or we talk about at the leadership group that I work with at the high school is like, what's your legacy? What kind of legacy do you want to live? And like today was our last session, so it's like you have one more year left. So that's that urgency piece that's going to create action. You have one more year left. What kind of legacy do you want? And besides winning, like, yeah, well, we want to win state. Okay, well, you won one game last year. You're not winning state. To certain people, like, yeah, I'm not saying that stuff, but like, the state is just the stereotypical. I want to win state. I want to be all state. I want to be all conference. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's there's so many other factors, but like besides the winning piece, what kind of legacy do you want? Like, and like a kid today was like, I want to have our defense this year is going to be he's a football guy. Our defense is going to be the best like connected group. And I was like, all right, I've been there for 10 years. I'll tell you at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, it's going to be easy. I was like, no, it's not. But he's confident. But then, yeah, and then there's this other girl on the dance team. And she was saying the same stuff. She's like, and the dance team is very successful. But they haven't won in like 2 years, like state. They're like, we are doing extra stuff right now because we want to get back to that. And she's like, I want to be the one that like led that charge. So she's having these tough conversations with the girls and pulling them into doing like extra running and things like that that they're just doing on their own now. So she was like really like energized. You saw it in her eyes too. Like I told her, I was like, I'm ready to go run with you guys. I was like, that's powerful. And like, you keep that going. And it's like, but they realize that urgency piece because like I have one more year of high school sport.
Oh yeah.
So that urgency piece is huge.
That is very tough to communicate, and especially at that high school level, because you're saying it, sometimes they don't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to, okay, we only have 3 games left. I can count it on my hand. Now I start to care or try.
Yeah.
When yes, we could have been doing that, months ago and
For
be in
sure.
a better position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always those.
Yeah. And so in working with leadership and the athletic development side, have you noticed a difference between leading young men and leading young women?
That's a really good question. I have to really think about it. Like up front with the athletes that I'm working with, like those top tier ones, no.
Mhm.
The ones like below that, yes. Actually, I don't. Maybe I retract that statement. But like the ones at the top, like they are the ones like I have athletes that come to me like regardless of what high school they like. Hey, they want to just like put their goals on paper in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And we sit down and we go over that stuff, and then I'm very. I think one of my strengths is I hold people accountable to the fullest. Like
Yeah.
I will have those tough conversations. Whether it's with my fiance or a freshman in high school kid, like broad range, even my dad, like we go back and forth, like he's a small business owner himself and we share our goals together. I'm like, hey, you got to do this or whatever. Like,
That's awesome.
and I learned it from him because he does it hard on
Yeah.
me. So now it's like payback to get to him, but it's just like been a strength of mine. But going back to it with those athletes, the leadership and the physical side, like, if you're all in, you're all in.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see right through that of like, I mean, our commitment board, like those people are the ones coming in season, out of season. They're the ones, that are even in our groups. We do mostly group training here. and we call it Athletic Development Program, ADP. So we have a volleyball girl, a football guy, a lacrosse guy, lacrosse girl, a volleyball girl, like all different sports, you name it. But those ones that are the leaders, like
Mhm.
usually the best in the sport too, or like the ones going on to play at the next level, they're the ones like leading that group. And we'll have kids that, we have some athletes that don't even play sports. Their parents, like maybe it's like a younger brother or something that just like, doesn't play sports, but they want them to be a part of something like this is their team.
Right.
And those kids pull those kids. I actually just found out one of them is a senior that's never played a sport, but he's invited to one of our top football guys' graduation party. I'm like, that's a really cool thing.
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that shows what you're aiming to do is bring
Yeah.
a team environment. It's not just the football team. Now we get an opportunity to bring different schools together or different
Yeah.
classes and
And
different
that's
sports.
that's what I wanted, just a whole like a new community.
Yeah. Well, and then that's what the most successful gyms, from my experience, are. Is
Yeah.
they build that community and then they run it like a business.
Hmm.
So it's still community focused, but then everything aligns on the back end,
Yeah, we always say we want to make it the third home for everyone.
like Starbucks.
Yeah, that's where I got it. You know, home is obviously they're going to be the most spot, and then school, and then even like for our adult clients, like work or whatever, like this is their other place.
Mhm.
Like with the outdoor spot, like I want to make it a playground. We're going to put a basketball hoop. We're going to have a pickleball court, and just like kids can come early, they can come late, they can come on another day. Just like if they're coming in here in the building, they know like it's a safe spot. Like no one's going to harass them, things like that. I'll harass them, but
Give them a hard
good
time.
give her away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is called candor. We're just
Yeah.
giving them a hard time, not harassing.
Mm-hmm.
Preparing them to manage that. That's one thing I do like about working with the high school age, is teaching them how to give and take trash talk.
Yes.
So then one approach, we can get into this. So one approach that I take is, if they clearly have like developed calves, I call them out for small calves. So what I aim to accomplish there, I want them to think about, is that true?
Yeah. I love that.
No, it's not true, because they got just genetically gifted calves or whatever. So then now when a kid says something, an opponent says something to them, I want their first thought to be, is it true? Because most kids, if they say something, they'll get defensive. No, it's not. So
Yeah.
now it's like, is this a filter? Is this true? And then now we can step up and just water off a duck's back, like brush it off. Because that second man always gets caught, especially with
Yep.
our referees in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So I aim, and that's one thing I focus on, is just find something that's not true and then just give them a hard time about it, and then teach them this filter of, is it true?
I do that, but I've never really thought about it in that context. So I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone jokes like I'm the number one hater for everyone, even though they all know I'm their number one biggest fan.
Yeah.
But in here, just everyone's like I'm the best, I don't know, shit talker around. Even like my pro guys are like, you talk more shit than anyone.
That
It's just like indirectly what I do to build that, courage and confidence piece.
yeah. The higher the level, the better talker you got to be.
Oh yeah.
So it almost is this rite of passage where they got their guards up. I mean, at the football level especially, there's a lot of people coming to help them, but not really help them.
Yeah.
So guards are always up. So this is a good way to break down and make that connection.
I
Yeah.
love that. Knowing that.
Yeah. So, well, then you aim to, this is one thing where you're handing off duties. Like, how can you help your team, your coaches make better connections, is through this piece that it may not come naturally to you, or you just have been in that environment
Yeah.
your whole life. So then, yeah, see how you can hand off that teaching and then start to have your own.
Yep.
Here's 5 S's of shit talking. I don't know, whatever.
I've always been a shit talker though.
Yeah.
So.
But then it comes naturally to you.
Yeah.
So now,
No, yeah.
can you teach that?
For sure. And actually, I mean, one of my athletes told one of my other coaches, like, all you do is just shit talk. He's actually, wait, Patrick, shit talks more than you. So they realized it, but I'm like, all right, he's already starting to run that same
Yeah.
page. But we haven't even discussed that. I'm like, that'll be at our next coaches meeting where we like talk about that. I'm like, why do you guys think I, harass the kids? Like, and give them a hard time.
Reframe that.
Yeah.
Candor is the.
Candor. Yeah. Why do I like shit talk to kids, give them candor and all that? I'm gonna be curious for their answers.
Yeah.
It's a good question to bring back to coaches meetings.
Some of the things. Do you have siblings?
I have 3 younger sisters.
You've prepared them for life, I hope, by giving them some
Oh,
candor growing up.
Yeah, they can handle
There
it
you go.
all.
Yeah, I'm the reverse. I just got older sisters.
Yeah.
So then I utilize sports to then actually develop the tough skin and candor and get all that, because at home it was all estrogen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, I do want to get to lacrosse. So you almost stumbled into this through one of your NFL connections to
Correct.
now open up the door where you got great opportunities at all levels with lacrosse.
Yeah, it was, one of the agents that I work with was representing Trevor Baptiste, who's pretty well known.
Yeah.
And trained him like right after college, even a couple times during college, his senior year, and then became some lacrosse guy. There was clubs reaching out like, "Hey, we need a guy that played lacrosse, knows lacrosse, and trains lacrosse." I was like, disclaimer: I didn't play lacrosse, but I can train movement. I understand the sport demands, things like that. Like I did my research and I watched the game, things like that, and also you're 12 years old, so you just need athletic development.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you that part.
Yeah, lacrosse specific training. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
It'll be right next to the football program.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just absolutely fell in love with the sport though, and built a relationship with other guys. Trevor brought in more athletes as well. And then it just like any other sport and sports performance realm, like it's a trickle down effect. Train a high level guy in any sport, like you're probably gonna have those sports underneath you too in that area.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's just exploding here in Denver. It's amazing.
oh yeah. The buy-in of what lacrosse is and what kids are willing to do, parents are willing to do and go the extra mile. So their kids can, maximize their potential. So it's awesome, and we're getting there in terms of the state producing some fine athletes,
Big time.
going to the next level and producing at the next level, and then even getting to the ultimate level.
Yeah, and it just creates that spark in that community. So
Mhm.
whether they went to college here or they grew up here, it's still associated with Denver.
And again, it just like a trickle down effect of like in our business, but like in the professional realm, like the Colorado Mammoth are a great program. We now have the Denver Outlaws back with like a home base, and then University of Denver, again, a great program. So like high school to middle school, like there's just great programs, and the leadership up at the highest ranks is going to help that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, great to see. Yeah, good minds in there. I do want to speak about sports specialization. So this is something that's starting to work into lacrosse. It's infected baseball. It's infected basketball. And at certain club levels, they just try to steal kids away from different sports. So now using your expertise in long-term athletic development, your connection with athletes that have been to the top and continue to find success there, how are you presenting, like encouraging parents to play more sports or be more active? Or just when they present specialization to you, how do you have that conversation with them?
Yeah, that's always a tricky conversation, especially when, some parents are blindfolded and just going, narrow focus on this is what it takes. I'm like, well, you asked Trevor, believe it or not, he was a swimmer.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he played football too. So he was 3 sports, and Jack Hanna, who I think is one of the best athletes in the PLL, he was football, he was basketball. Like you look at my NFL guys, they were track, they were baseball, they were basketball too. So like, that's what like me and my mom, she's very similar to me in this mindset of like, where is the disconnect of like, you see it every year, like in the Super Bowl was like, 47 of the 53 played 2 sports in high school or whatever. Like the drafts of like, oh, this was like watching the draft, it was like, oh, this was a basketball guy. Oh, this was it was a track guy. Like, but where is it missing at the lower level? Like, where are the parents blinded? Where are the kids blinded? So I think it is on us to educate them and, give them our professional athletes like histories and things like that and guidance of like, no, if you're good, you'll be found. So it's always it's always going to be a debate, I think, because you're always going to have, those guys that, the Tiger Woods, things like that. Well, hate to break it, your kid's probably not Tiger Woods. Um, so there is that diamond in the rough, but that's not end all be all.
Hmm.
Um, so educating the parents, and I mean, we have one of my high school lacrosse guys who's top 5 ranked in the nation right now. He didn't play basketball this year. He played basketball his freshman year, but he told me he's gonna play basketball his junior year. I was like, good. Like, don't train with me. Play basketball too. Like,
Hmm.
if you want to come in like here and there, do it. You get some touch ups or whatever. But like, don't even pick up a lacrosse stick too. Just play basketball.
Hmm.
Um, so you have those conversations with those athletes individually, things like that. And like again, like when athletes come to me and like break down their goals and everything, we talk about that too. I'm like, you're gonna get burnt out. And like I was just talking with another one of my guys, he's like, if I just played lacrosse, I would hate it
Hmm.
at this point. I was like, I'm, 12 years in of like playing at really high level. I would hate lacrosse.
So funny you mentioned that. So inside baseball, speaking with a college coach, D1 recruiting.
Mm.
So then interesting conversation that he's having with his peers. All these different showcases and clubs go around. So colleges, they go and attend them. And what they're looking for now, if they see the same name within the 8th, ninth, and 10th grade level, the same name at all these different showcases, what they're doing is marking that name off. Because from their experience, by the time that kid gets to freshman, sophomore in college, they are burnt out. So they are just avoiding these kids that are just travel only
Yeah.
because they're missing one, athletic development, but two, just that kid's going to be high injury rate prone and burnout prone.
Hmm.
So now it's like the harder their parents are trying to pay for all this travel ball, the more it's working against the kid
Yeah.
at that level because coaches they wasted a scholarship on a kid that was gone
Yeah.
when they could have had somebody else.
And I mean, that needs to be publicly known. Like, put that in the newspapers and say it louder for the people in the back, as the joke goes. Because yeah, people don't hear that, or it turns the blind deaf ears. But then again, you're gonna have some athletes, so I'm not gonna completely bash like single sport athletes because we're gonna have some, and I have one that's a stud. I don't know how close I am to get him to play football his senior year, but we're getting there. But he's a stud lacrosse player. He's got his D1 offer and
All
everything.
right.
But we make it in here. Like, we're playing like different games and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do have those single sport athletes, you have to make your training not just lacrosse specific. And I mean, we don't do that anyways, but make it like warm up with dodgeball and just like
Mhm.
do different things to expose him to different movements and demands
Yeah.
that he's not used to, and competing against different sports as well. So I think that is a way to combat that, and not like truly bash the single sport athlete, because they're always going to be there.
Yeah.
So we can't, turn them away, or just like, hey, you're
I'm not gonna,
doing
yeah, you
this
can't hold it
stuff.
against
Yeah,
them. And we're gonna do what we do is just encourage, empower, and
yes,
lead.
for sure. So changing, some of your training regimens for those athletes as well, I think, is critical for the performance coach.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then imagining with the pros as well, it's mixing in those fun games, movement, shapes,
Yeah,
competitions that they don't get exposed to, especially with the where the league is now. They have careers and jobs and train and then travel to perform in the games on the weekends in the
exactly.
summer.
I mean, that's our best warm up tool right there, the spike ball.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, sometimes, like I said, with the combine guys, it like gets carried away. But like even with like my lacrosse guys and the NFL guys in the summer, and again, they're all like, I bring all those guys even together too. So like,
Oh, that's
it's easy.
yeah.
It's easy for me to tell a parent of like, oh, I need them in a baseball specific group. I'm like, how come my NHL, my PLL, my NFL guys are all working out together? They don't need specific training. Like, and I always joke, I'm like, I've never met a coach that wants a slower, weaker athlete. And that's what our training is going to do. We're going to make not slower, weaker, but get you faster, get you stronger. So that's going to help in any sport.
Yeah.
But so it helps like educate the younger parents with the younger kids of like, no, I mean, all these guys on this wall have all worked out together.
That's awesome.
And they love competing against each other. But even like we'll make up random games too. We're like, we're playing handball, volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go out to one of the beach volleyball courts out here and play the med ball volleyball. And it's just, again,
Yeah.
different athletes in different realms competing against each other in different movements from everyone too.
Yeah, I like that from multiple sides. The strength coach side, just seeing how they move, right? How's their plant and change the direction with something awkward, because
Mhm.
sport's going to be some unknown thing that they've been in an awkward position, and can they get creative with their bodies to solve that problem? So watching how they move in something they've never done before. And then I also want to introduce new games. I want to see how they compete.
Yeah.
Do they switch it on, and how are they responding to success? How are they responding to failure? With the high school guys, you can help shape and craft that uh, responsibility, like how they respond, their ability to respond to winning, losing, succeeding. But like the pro guys is fun because it's really instilled in them, and you
Oh
can
yeah.
tell a lot
And when
about
I
them.
put it on new constraints and they just attack me, that's the most fun for me.
Oh well, you're armed and equipped to
Yeah.
fire right back.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's fun. I sticking with high school athletes to explore this. I don't know if you've had experience with having a kid that don't know how talented they are in certain sports, where basketball or football or lacrosse or something just comes so easy to them that then they lose interest because sports are no longer competitive. So I don't know if you've seen that, where just the sport just comes so easy to them, they lose interest.
I think I saw it back like when I was playing back in like high school with some of my friends that were the best in their sports and everything. But we didn't have social media and everything. I think now, and again, we'd be very lucky to find, one of the 5-star recruits in this neck of the woods. So we don't have those guys. So I think, I mean, maybe it is a benefit of one benefit of social media is like in terms of comparing to others is like they see like there's better guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they're chasing that.
Right.
So maybe that is finally a benefit of comparing yourself on social media because I haven't really seen a lot of that. I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
Um,
Just with certain guys that within the realm of lacrosse, they're so gifted athletically that you just put a stick in their hand and they take it over, and then that's easy. So it's battling a lot of just school and home where they're not pushing them to be the best. So when they come to the 6 hours of lacrosse, comes easy to them, they lose interest quick because then, oh, coach is pushing me hard, or
yeah.
I don't get pushed hard because school, everything else comes easy to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen some athletes get a certain way, but then they go to a tournament out east, and their team gets spanked.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're 5th in the nation or whatever, and then they lose every game by 10. I'm like, are you guys 5th in the nation? No, you just
To a bottom team out
yeah,
in Maryland somewhere.
yeah, exactly. So then it turns, some of them it fuels their fire, and some of them, they sink, and you gotta figure out a way to get them back.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's what I call level set on skill set. So those travel tournaments from the Colorados, from the Texas to the East Coast, that is a wake up call because it's a representation of team play for sure. Maybe they're individually gifted, but how does their team dynamic work together?
yeah.
Well, cool, man. We covered a lot here, and it looks like, I mean, you got a beautiful facility and you're building that team community. And I do love that. Like, what else are you aiming to accomplish? You're expanding your team. What's the future look like for Pivotal here that people can look forward to?
Um, I mean, we just moved into this place, so we're still working on growing out this place. We're gonna add on with our outdoor area, so that's gonna be cool. But yeah, just building that network of coaches, because obviously, in the performance realm, I'd be the luckiest man in the world if I have Jaron and Javon and Dylan like for the rest of my life, but that's just not true. So building that connection of coaches and interns and all that, I think is my biggest area of like growth and like reach out of like a goal I have.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting that with like a high school internship program now. And actually one of the local high schools out here offers a high school internship program. And I just got a text the other day from a girl that did that program with me that she's now like the intern for sports science for the University of Hawaii football. I'm like, that's awesome. So it's a cool thing like that. And like, when she graduates and if she moves back here, like she's got a spot here most
Mhm.
likely because of like her experiences and everything like that. But constantly building those coaches network, and we want to grow like in the community even more. Like again, there's 4 high schools in this town. We're affiliated with one. We have reach outs with we've worked with all of them at one point in time or with teams or whatever. But just building like so we're actually starting Parker Speed Days
Okay, that's
where
cool.
we want to create like list of everything like who's the fastest in Parker. I want to get shirts of like I'm the fastest in Parker, things like that. Create like a
In the
sen-
pivotal font, like
yeah.
Parker. Yeah, that'd be cool.
But create like this culture of like speed,
Hmm.
like this need for speed in the town of Parker, where we have a second grader out there to a senior in high school to one of my pro guys coming out there for a day and just doing a basic speed thing, but then just timing people, ranking them based on age, sex, different things like that, where it creates like a whole thing. And like ultimately, like it's a business tactic too, a marketing tactic of
Big
like,
time.
hey, I want to be the fastest, so I got to go in and come back and like get more training in and everything, but just create and it's free, and we just want to rotate through all the high schools. So I'm working with the ADs right now to try to establish that. But I think that's like a dream I have. So like if kids can't afford training, like they can go once a week on
Hmm.
the weekend or whatever to that and get speed training, and they're training, at a high level. So that's like one of my like visions and goals that I want. And then just, have that become like one of my missions, like my goals is whatever to be known in every household in the town of Parker.
Hmm.
Focus on our neighborhood, our town, and all the surrounding towns would just be a trickle benefit.
Big time. And then the pros that you continue to send the next level and create those opportunities with,
Mm-hmm.
that's just going to continue to help build the brand and build the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about legacy with your high schoolers. It's clear what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate your time. Blind reach out, but
Yeah,
it was
it was
fun to get to
awesome.
know you and learn about what you're building here, especially the community aspect. And that's something to be, I mean, I'm losing words here. It's something to, admire within the
Yeah.
field, because so many people they're going for a logo on their chest versus creating their own logo.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Beautiful facility, Parker, Colorado. Check it out, man. And then any PLL guys we got looking forward to this season?
Yeah.
Plenty.
Plenty of them. Trevor will be number 1 in face-offs again. Jack, Hannah, I honestly think he could be the best in the world. Calling that out, and he'll take on that challenge. We got Colin Squires, one of the best D guys. Then a handful of the younger guys too that they gotta make a spot first in 2 weeks,
That's the
and then I'll
beauty.
give them shout outs.
Yeah, that's the beauty. I still love the tryout nature of the league.
Yeah.
It's highly competitive.
Mhm.
That's a key word to talk about it. But all right, dude. Thanks for joining us for Captains and Coaches podcast. And zine.